Hey, how ya doing? We just dropped Stella off to have the vet look at her. She's lame in her back leg. I'm hoping it's just Stella being Stella and not wanting to put weight on her leg and still trying to get sympathy. But we'll see. They x-rayed her and everything last time we were here and they couldn't find anything, and probably she got hit in the side of her leg and bruised really bad, and I don't know, maybe I should tell them that she's been acting like she's got arthritis too. Could be that. In the meantime, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go have some coffee at Miss M's, if she's open. Whew. It's so cold. Nobody really wants to go out. Alright. Sorry, I didn't use my turn signal. That was rude of me. Oops. I'm in the Mrs. Subaru. It's not the Mrs. Subaru, it's my wife's Subaru. Or as we affectionately refer to it, the Super Boo Boo. I might not make it down there. The phone may ring and say, well, come back to the vet. It is actually, according to the car thermometer and according to my wife, it is 1 degree Fahrenheit outside. And it is so cold, I think there's a little bit of moisture in the air, and the moisture is condensing and turning into snowflakes. I think I made a mistake in trying to go left here. This light is unreasonably long. It is not cycling. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna go. It's ridiculous. Old Tiffany Springs Road. I wonder what the story is behind that. I'm not familiar with Tiffany Springs. I'm not sure what the weather is supposed to do. I'm going to turn this down a little. 76. There we go. Put it on auto, even though it says it's on auto. We got our roundabout. There's two of them here, back to back. Passing under 152, Missouri 152. That's kind of a grody windshield. Now it's probably even worse. The windshield washer fluid freezing to the windshield. Man, I'll tell you what, it's a outdoor mall here, I guarantee is not doing very well this time of year. Make people wish for indoor malls again. I never really liked malls. A lot of Southeast Asian countries, I'm not sure about other parts of the world, but a lot of really hot countries, hot climates, they love their malls. The most popular shopping centers because they can get out of the heat and the pollution and the dust. They go into semi-air conditioned comfort. I say semi because Sometimes they don't turn the air conditioners on very high in those places. They don't have to. People from really hot countries, they gotta stop. And you turn an air conditioner on full blast and they're ready to reach for an Eskimo coat. I know that's true of the Philippines. And here we are. Outdoor mall here. They're doing a lot of work. Yeah, this place is called Zona Rosa. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name of it. I always jokingly refer to it as Twilight Zona Rosa. Let's go. Can we go this way? Yeah, it's tight in here. They're redoing the central park here. This is like a shopping mall, except it's all outdoors. And it kind of mimics small town America downtown. Meanwhile, you go to small town America downtown and it's completely empty, abandoned, and dead. I had heard when they planned this, they were going to, I'm not sure if they ever did, they were going to have living spaces upstairs of these places, and I'm not sure if they do. That'd be kind of convenient. If you like malls. You know, there's nothing really super practical here, like a grocery store or something that you might really need. There's not even any drugs. Well, yeah, I think there might be some drugstore around the corner. Kind of a long distance away, actually. Like typical chain mall stores. There's your Barnes and Nobles. Elderly Navy. Big Dick Sporting Goods. Whatever this was, I can't remember, is closed, looks like. Michael's, the arts and crafts store. Again, the thermometer says 1 degree Fahrenheit, and there's a little bit of light snow, but I don't think it's like, I think it's just whatever leftover moisture is in the air is like condensing and forming snow. Yeah, that's right. There is a drugstore right over here on the left, I think. Like right at the entrance. I'm not even sure if it's actually a part of Zona Rosa. Yeah, CVS. And grocery store, no. You know what? I think I need to go straight. Sorry, people. There's a convenience store across the street. You have to cross a pretty busy street if you were Zona Rosa. There's a Trip Quick. And I don't know where your nearest grocery store is. There's a lot of hotels and motels up here, and some of them It's kind of funny. You go up here on this outer road, and like a lot of outer roads next to the highways in America, you get very sketchy very quick. A lot of transient people, a lot of drug deals, a lot of hookups, like, call girls and prostitutes, sex workers, things. And as a matter of fact, there was a homicide a few years back up here at one of these parking lots, one of these motels. And yeah, these kind of like outer road areas next to the highway ramps. And that's I-29 right over there. I always jokingly refer to, this is the parking lot area where there was a homicide. I sex. Yeah, don't do branding around me. I've always figured out a way to change the brand name. Like, McDonald's is Smackdonald's. Walmart, of course, is Walfart or Wally World, or Target. Target is Target or Target. There's Motel Sex, Motel Hate, Red Rash Inn. Matter of fact, we just kind of, when we're driving around, when we're traveling, we just kind of, when we're bored, try and think of names for things. Really, really hard and study groups and focus groups and come up with a brand identity for their business. Just love that when people turn it into something that. Then there's a sign fail. Like when the letter of a sign burns out, and sometimes it can spell out something they don't intend it for it to spell. Like, there have been a couple of times where you go past a Waffle House and the W is burned out, and you're like, oh, that's pretty funny, Awful House. So that's how Awful House got its name. I don't know how this has happened, but I've seen a few no-tells. I think what happens is that's actually an act of vandalism. One time there was a Sobe Japanese Steakhouse, and they had this neon sign. It was in Power and Light District. Love sign fail. Walked past it, and we started laughing because it said, "Be a food hoe." There was a jewelry store with backlit letters, and the letters were burned out so that it said something about "be a hoe" or something, and it was hilarious. I don't know how it worked. I don't know. Some nice mid-century homes through here. Mid-century ranch. Actually, a lot of these are very kind of small starter homes. Back in the day, they weren't really starter homes. They were homes that people raised their whole 3-bedroom houses, 1 bathroom, tiny rooms, very small front room, a kitchen in the back, and that was about it. If you were lucky, maybe you had a utility room leading to a garage or carport. A lot of them back in the 50s and 60s, they didn't put garages on them. They had carports. These days we would consider that to be a bungalow, and a lot of these are bungalow style houses. Bungalows are kind of what preceded the ranch from like 30s, 40s, and 50s. They had the bungalow style. And a bungalow is kind of a small house. And I don't think they were ever really intended to be, raise a huge family in. It was like a bungalow, married couple, their first home. Maybe they have a kid and then they get a bigger home after their family grows. But it's kind of a statement of America that if you could afford to buy a house, a lot of people, all they could ever afford ever was a small, tiny little house. And that's still true with a lot of people. But then a lot of people, they don't even buy those little houses, they're renting. All right, passing Tom Watson Parkway, which is Missouri 45 and Missouri 9. And now you know we're in Parkville. We're going to go through Parkville and then take 9 Highway West into downtown 169 South. The sun is out, but don't let that fool you. It is not warm at all. 1 degree Fahrenheit, which is way below 0 Celsius. We got into a family late. I'd like to say we started a family late, but we didn't start the family. We just took over payments on a family. Let's just put it that way. We're in our 50s and have young children. Which I guess is not necessarily a very uncommon occurrence these days. Parkville is very picturesque. Got the yellow "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Which is great, except it's now starting to come to represent something else entirely than what it was really intended to represent. I guess the rumor is that that's a flag that was created by Benjamin Franklin. I don't know how true that is, but it's attributed to Benjamin Franklin. Don't tread on me, meaning don't come treating us like we don't even exist except to take all our money and not protect us, not give us any services, not allow us to represent ourselves, and not it was the way it was, which was what the original colonies revolted against with England, against the English Parliament. People say, oh, well, we revolted against the king. We didn't like, and actually the real truth was, it was the English Parliament we were revolting against. Of course, Parliament back then was pretty well dominated by royal families and the House of Lords and stuff. Nowadays, the House of Lords is like, what? Don't even talk about House of Lords. Everything's done in the House of Commons, which is very representative democracy in England. the House of Lords is almost ceremonial. And here's downtown Parkville, Missouri. Very picturesque and pretty. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I'm happy to say I got my Valentine's Day stuff done. I have decoration. I've been having a hard time trying to get colored lights to work, and I think I need to get some colored LED lights. I wish I could do it and not make it look half-ass. It seems like you can't buy enough lights to fill the space that you want, or unless you get those string rope lights, and that's kind of But I'd like to make it to where the window is pink for Valentine's Day, purple for Mardi Gras, and then it's going to turn green for St. Patrick's Day. And then what? I don't know, yellow for Easter? This is a very pretty drive. You can see how frozen over the Missouri River is right now. I mean, it's not completely frozen over. I can still see patches of water. You can't walk across it, definitely. But this is pretty frozen over for what it's actually been the past couple of years. I'm not sure. I think it's been discussed in news stories, but I'm not sure the Missouri River can completely freeze over. It's too deep and it runs too fast. I watched this web camera up north for Duluth Harbor camera. The lake up there looks fairly frozen over. It looks like you could almost walk out to pretty far in the lake, although I wouldn't want to try it. They say that lake is 50 degrees all year long. I don't know if it's 50 degrees right now. The last I looked, it was negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit in Duluth, the Duluth Harbor. And the ships have completely stopped running up there. They're all put away for the season. This is my first year ever watching their cycle, so I don't know what they, when they start running ships, or I'm just not that familiar with it. So yeah, I knew that a lot of the Laker ships run generally till around December, and then they put them up in their harbors, their home harbors, for a while, at least until should be starting to come out maybe here in February, March. And what's amazing to me is that the Duluth Harbor is kind of a big deal for tourists. And even now, even without the ships running, there's still tourists who are like coming out there and walking around. is amazing. You can actually see downtown Kansas City, Missouri from the riverfront in Parkville. We are now no longer in Parkville. We're now in Riverside, which is appropriately named. Although the town of Riverside is pretty far in from the river. It's more or less up in the Bluff area. But I think the city limits actually go to the river. Mainly industrial lowlands. There's a casino to my right over here, Argosy, and again, the branding, we call it Argassi. So we have the local casinos. What are their names? Well, we have Ameristar is Amerirats. There's Argosy, which is Argassi, and Harrah's. One night we were at Harrah's and there was a concert going on, and a lot pretty skankily. It was around Easter, and we had just had the Easter Mass, and it was like, all right, it's okay to eat. So we were at the buffet there, and we were looking around, and these girls were all showing up for the concert, and they were trying to dress all sexy, but they weren't dressing really sexily, they were dressing skankily. And so I was laughing. I said, hey, that's a nice collar that you're wearing. It's a skirt. So we were like, hey, look, her ass is showing. So that's what Harrah's became ever since then, is her ass. Her ass is showing. And my least favorite casino here in Kansas City, Capri, which we call it the Crappy. Or I think it used to be the Flamingo, but now it's the Crappy. I worked with a reporter. That was his favorite casino. He'd go there and he'd like to go there and gamble, and he was always getting these specials, which are not really special. You actually spend a lot of money to get those special deals, free rooms or reduced meals in the restaurant. So we went in there to eat, and I was like, oh my God, it's on the top of the casino, above the casino floor, and they allow smoking. So it was like eating in an ashtray. All the smoke was going up to where you were eating. And you're like, ugh, gross, nasty. I don't know why they give an exception to casinos to allow smoking when everywhere else has been forced to not allow smoking, which actually I'm pretty much in favor of. I was not in favor of it at first, mainly from like a government intrusion point of view, but as long as they do it the same for everyone, and it has actually really helped, because I I think a lot of people have just gone ahead and quit smoking, and because it's become so it's really definitely cleaned up a lot of places, a lot of bars and stuff. You can go in and not feel like you're walking into an ashtray. But I'm still kind of resentful that they don't enforce it in casinos, because it's like they're giving a special exemption to casinos, and almost like they're trying to drive business into these casinos at the exception of everyone else. I think the casino should have to play by the same rules as everybody else. Flakes are still flying. It's not an accumulating thing. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it, because you can see there really aren't that many clouds in the sky. And I don't think these are blowing flakes. These are newly formed snowflakes. Broadway, Buck O'Neill Bridge, crosses the Missouri River here, goes into downtown. Well, the river looks frozen from an angle, but when you get up above it, it definitely doesn't look that frozen. Mostly on the sides, but they're not solid frozen. It's like big ice chunks. It's like ice lily pads, actually. KCMO Popo. There's Amazon, post office, and oops, all delivering at the same time. I've got a delivery coming in on Wednesday. I wish it would come in on Tuesday, but generally when they say it's going to come in on a certain day, it'll come in on that day, you can bet. It'd be nice if it came in on Tuesday, because I have a live streaming job I need to do on Wednesday. But I've ordered the YOLO box YOLO box. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a multi-source switcher and live stream encoder all built into one box, and you can also use it to record video. So it'll take in two HDMI sources, which would be like two cameras, one USB source, which could be anything you could turn into a USB. You could take a camera and turn into with an adapter, or you could buy. And then it counts one of the sources as the SD card. You could put something on an SD card and roll it. It's not like a live source. And then another source could be, you can take something off of the internet. I don't know how that works, but I think possibly you use like a separate computer and share the Wi-Fi, and then you give it the computer's address, and I think you could use it for like Zoom meetings and stuff like that, which would be handy. I remember when there was Skype, and it was sort of became a household word that when you were going to do a video conference call, it was called Skyping. But now Skype seems to have lost, and now it's all Zoom. Although there's a lot of other companies out there. I don't know what's going on. If this restaurant is open, it's a Denny's, but I don't see the Denny's sign up anymore. There's graffiti all over it. I think it's closed. I don't think it's anything. I think it's a former Denny's. They've taken the sign down, and there's a big thing of graffiti. I'm sure somebody will come along and buy it. Be a nice. Pick up something. All right, I got to go by CVS and pick up something. Today is like errands day. I was supposed to have Saya with me, but she got in trouble with Aunt Suyen. Her room was a wreck, so Aunt Suyen said, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're cleaning up your room." We are really strict. The sun is sort of backlighting everything. It is so cold that nobody is in the park on a Saturday afternoon. It looks like the lake is pretty well frozen down there. There's a big sledding hill. I see the tracks and footprints where people were sledding. I don't cold. Nobody even wants to get out of their cars, or a lot of people don't even want to get out of their houses. There's a lot of places have been knocked out of business by the beer flu. A lot of restaurants and stuff haven't made it. That's my box rattling. I gotta figure something out here because I'm running out of room in my box. I don't even know if this thing, Chinese restaurant, is open. Looks like it's in an old IHOP. There's my church. Redemptorist. I don't see any activity, like no weddings or funerals going on. Saturdays are wedding funeral days. They have a mass at 5. But I think they have one at 8 maybe in the morning. But in between they have funerals. And last week, it seems like a long time ago, last week they had 2 funerals in one day. One for Father Gene, which I live streamed. And it was kind of strange because the funeral people came by, they saw me set up, and they were like, "We wish you could stay set up, or, all our funerals." I didn't realize there was another funeral until the end of my live stream, and I think that they were hoping I would do that one too. And somebody mentioned, "Oh, you could get into business doing that, just live streaming nothing but funerals." I said, "Oh man, I don't think I can handle that." That'd be too depressing. But yeah, you could, because there's so many people that would like to attend that couldn't, especially these days. There's some funeral homes now that will offer that service, but the way they do it is they take like security cameras and they'll live stream 1 or 2 security cameras. You can't even really change camera angles. It's just an overall view of the whole thing. Crappy audio. And so I guess it's something I could easily do if I wanted to, but I wouldn't want to make a habit of it. Maybe I could do it once in a while. These cars are zooming through here like they don't want to stop. Now I'm here on 39th Street. There's a Donald Ross scribe painting on the mural inside that building. Big fish. Donald Ross scribe is a local. Started out as a graffiti artist, and he created all these like comical, unique characters. And he officially makes a living at Children's Mercy Hospital. I don't know if that's true anymore, but he is the official Children's Mercy artist. But I believe he did not start as an artist there. He started as like a maintenance worker or something like that. And then they were like, they saw his paintings and said, "Hey, can you do these murals in the hospital?" And I think he's like, that's what he does all the time now. He has murals all throughout the hospital. Whoops. That's my camera has decided it didn't want to hang out on the windshield anymore. It lasted a long time up there. really tight in here with these. Not really meant to be 2 lanes. All right, I'll dick with that later. And here we are, and I see her espresso flag is out, and the espresso flag is flying. We are serving coffee. And you know that coffee is not about coffee, it's about company. It's like the reason people go to bars a lot. But then there's a danger of becoming an alcoholic. I don't know if I'm in danger of becoming a coffeeholic. But here we are. A Downbeat Coffee House here on 39th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Let me fix this. Uh-oh. So I'm here to get me some coffee. Hee hee.